Welcome back to TSDTV. I am Rhonnie B, the socialite with Sports Twist, and I am here today again with Paul Wiggins. He is a former NFL player and obviously quite the businessman. How are you again?
Great.
Every time I say that, you laugh. I'm like, hey, you have a very successful business, and it can still make you blush, obviously, to hear that. So we're talking a little bit about making decisions of when you know to make certain changes when you have a small business. And I think a lot of people start their small businesses kind of like, I hate to say it this way, but almost like a little side hustle. Like it's something they're doing on the side in addition to having a job.
Well, I think you're 100% correct. Most small businesses, as we know, are started by somebody who thinks they have a certain capability to do something.
Mm-hmm.
They can either build a widget, they can either program something, they can build an app, they can do something of that type of nature. They can develop fragrances in their kitchen.
Yes. Yes.
So there's a number of different things that people individually start out doing.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where, obviously, not just where it's a minority business, but every business usually starts off like that. People forget that Apple was started in a garage.
Very true.
By two guys who thought they could build some kind of computer.
Mm-hmm.
And so everybody starts somewhere. The thing about as you start early on, it's really about, what you're trying to accomplish in the first parts of your business. Are you just trying to get that one client that allows you to leave your day job and then go to, do your business full time? Do you have to get multiple clients to support that situation? And you never really know when's the right time. I mean, you're going to have to take a leap of faith because the day that you quit your day job that provides you your 9-to-5 foundation, you're on your own, no matter what.
Right.
And
there's no life jacket.
There's no safety in that situation. And so, when you decide to take that leap of faith, it's on you, and you're going to have the, hopefully enough foundation in your business and enough vision and enough runway that you're going to be able to make that jump. And I will never say comfortably, but at least with some level of confidence that you're not going to fail right away.
Right.
And that's a double-edged sword because also the statistics show that a small business in this first year, 85% of them will fail.
Right.
And so you're going to have to take that leap of faith. You're going to have to try to do something. And maybe in your first year, first 2-3 years, you don't plan to leave your day job and you try to do this till you get to a certain level. It's really going to be a lot about your strategic vision, where you're comfortable at, where you're comfortable as far as income, what's going to take for you to survive all those things.
And I think that there's also a necessity for creativity. A lot of times people think that when they start a small business that they need to be everything in that small business. But if you have a full-time job that you're working, sometimes that creativity comes in the line of maybe there's someone else that's kind of doing this day-to-day phone calls and follow-ups and things for you until you can get there from your day-to-day job. Can you share with us maybe some of the creativity that you had to use with your business?
Well, for myself, I was able to start this business and I actually transitioned into it 100%, from day one. I won't say that was the smartest thing to do.
He's not advising that.
No, but, that's here again, that's the part where if you're by yourself, who's answering the calls? If it's just you, do you have a business partner that's sharing those responsibilities that also is working a day job? I think the dynamics of when you're starting a business in that lane where you happen to have another source of income just to keep yourself going while you're trying to do something else is not an uncommon position. But, the dynamics of being able to juggle all that and then, decide, what's the right time to leave and do all those things and the creativity it takes to actually be able to be in that lane. And then, how do you juggle all that? I got to surprise, I got to do my day job, then I got to do my night job. I got to do my weekend job. I got to do my after hours job. It takes a lot of creativity to get that going. But the biggest thing you got to have, and I always lead back to this, is what's your vision? What's really the driving force behind you to want to do what you're doing? Because there better be a lot of motivation in that.
Sure. Well, absolutely. And I think anybody that's going to step out on a venture of their own, the biggest thing that they need is to have that self-motivation, because without that, and possibly that one cheerleader, at least that one cheerleader, sometimes it can get kind of hard from day to day. Now, on the flip side of that, though, are those people that are telling you that you need to stay with your job. Are you crazy? Stick there. You could retire in the next 20 years, that kind of thing. And sometimes those people are very close, to you. They could be a parent, a spouse, a best friend. Have you ever experienced anything like that where someone said, "Are you crazy? You're going to start this business?"
100%. starting a business, as much as it's talked about out there in the world, as much as people glamorize it, very few really go out and try to do it. That's the interesting part. There's not going to be 10 people in a room who all 10 have, went out and just tried to start a business.
Right.
Most people are very risk adverse naturally about what they try to do. And so it takes a lot, I think, just for an individual to, get to that point to want to start that business and really be at that level of, just, what do I want to say here? Confidence, to do that situation. So, again, when you're looking at being creative and you're starting that business from scratch and you're looking at the early years of things and you're looking at, all the little things that go into it, there's so much that you're going to have from your dynamic of when you want to start a business and when I want to start a business, that, it really just falls on what you see coming together, and what's going to put the pieces together for you.
Yeah, that's wonderful, actually, because I think sometimes that the thing that a lot of people lack is that self-confidence within themselves to believe that they have a vision and that they can make that vision a reality. Yeah. Speaking of reality, the reality of this situation is that not only are you a great businessman, but you are also a former football player. And I would totally be remiss, and people would probably think that I was crazy, knowing that I do a sports radio show every day, if I did not touch on that fact. Now, we know that tonight is the NFL draft, and everybody's kind of trying to decide who they're thinking, the number one pick is going to be. Now, I have my own choice, but I understand that you have a different choice than I do.
Well, I am a alum of the University of Oregon, so I know there's going to be 32 picks. I only care about one.
You only care about one.
So, I'm very interested in seeing where Marcus Mariota goes. I think he is an outstanding football player, but also an outstanding young man who has a great character and a great representation of himself, his family, his school, everything that if I'm going to build an organization around and I'm going to risk a significant amount, he is a very, low risk, proposition in that position. And so I think he has a great upside. I think obviously the NFL is starting to change, a little bit in the offensive dynamics that have been, the way they've done things for so long. Obviously with Chip Kelly going into the Philadelphia Eagles. Yes. And, a lot of people don't realize that Chip Kelly was not the first one to start running, type of spread offenses in the NFL. You had the Houston Oilers back in the day who used to do the, run and shoot.
And note he said Oilers.
Yes. Long time ago.
That dated it right there.
And so, they used to run the run and shoot, with Warren Moon and all those types of things. But it's become more evolved. It's become more consistent. It's become more efficient. And it's really become effective. And so I'm really hoping Marcus goes to a great team. I'm hoping, come on, Chip, do something crazy and, make that trade, because I think it would just be phenomenal for them two to pair back up again. But truly, hope Marcus has a great, NFL career, and I believe he will. So.
Well, there's been lots of speculation about what's going to happen in that draft. And even though, Jameis's character has been called into question quite a bit lately, I do agree with you on the statement. I think to be a wonderful player and a great contributor to a team, you need to be an all-around team player, and that doesn't just mean what you're doing when you're on the field. So I'm very interested in seeing.
Well, I think Jameis Winston does go number one, and I was a college athlete, and every person is immature at certain periods of time in their life. Let's just call it what it is.
Yes.
There's no glass houses in this situation.
Yes. I always say, where's his mama?
Well, and when you look at what, he's, being talked about, obviously there was one situation that was very serious.
Yes.
Then we all have to take that very serious.
Yes.
But, the other situations,
the Captain Crab legs
yeah.
and the rest of those things.
Like I said, I will not give my background of things that...
You're not going to do your laundry list?
No, because we won't go there. But I understand where he's at. I understand what's happening around him. I understand. But people don't talk about that this kid was a two-time academic All-American.
Yes, and almost a two-time Heisman Trophy winner.
Correct.
Yeah.
And they don't talk about all those other things. He's a extremely smart individual. He's not an unintelligent man.
Right.
He's not a naive person.
No.
He's very good at leadership and doing those things. I think he's going to have an outstanding career also. He does with any NFL player, and I do a lot of talking to certain people and things of that nature, it's a whirlwind when you get into that situation. You better have people who can keep you grounded.
Sure.
A foundation that's going to keep you straight. because if not, you're going to get caught up.
Absolutely.
That's just what's going to happen.
Yeah. And the key thing to all of this, and any of us who have children know this for a fact, and that is the point that you touched on about immaturity. In the end of the day, he's still a young kid. Yeah. And so you have to kind of remember that that's where he is. Well, you've been watching TSDTV. I am Rhonnie B, the socialite, and I have been delighted to have Paul Wiggins join me today. Stay tuned, because I'm sure that there's going to be many more great episodes of TSDTV coming your way.
L3 Media is the Mid-South's premier videography and photography company. We specialize in capturing all of life's greatest moments. Whenever you need talented and professional service for your special events or business, L3 Media is the company for you. You can contact us at all of our social media sites. You can like us on Facebook, check out our website, follow us on Twitter, or always feel free to email us. We are L3 Media, your #1 source for all your videography and photography needs. Give us a call today.